Hey, so this is a quick update video. I was actually working on a full-length, proper The Story Behind series video just now, but my grandma is coming to visit me, so I couldn't finish that in time. So I thought, why not show you some cool stuff? And after that, I'll answer your questions. Okay, so that was the new intro, and now you're hearing the new background music. I'm kind of trying to build like a more crisp, more interesting TechAltar version 2.0. So I really want to know what you guys think. There's a Twitter poll in the description below. Go there, cast your votes, and let me know how you like the new music. Oh, and merch. I asked the people on Twitter which one of these 3 designs they preferred, and they chose the third one, so that one is actually already in pre-production phase. We're prototyping around now. All the other merch stuff is going on as well, so I'm very excited that soon we will have actual merch. Okay, now let's get to your questions. Oh, and most of these are coming from Twitter, so if you haven't followed me there yet, now's probably a pretty good time. Okay, question number 1. Since I worked in China, can I speak Chinese? 我在中国待了3年半左右，所以当然会说中文。Okay, number 2, favorite iOS 12 feature. So this is not really a feature, but I just really enjoy the fact that Apple supports their devices for 5 years. I think this is absolutely fantastic. And I also really like that they focused this update on performance improvements, which I think was the right choice to make after so many people complained about this battery slowdown issue. So I think it shows that big companies can listen to customer feedback if they want to. Favorite Apple announcement. So I was the most excited about iPad apps coming to the Mac because I think this signifies like a big trend that we've seen from Microsoft and Google and Apple before. So I think these companies are all trying to bring their mobile OSs and their PC OSs closer and closer together. We've seen Windows do Universal Windows Platform apps and Windows 10 on ARM. We've seen Google do Android apps on Chrome OS and Chrome Progressive Web apps on Android. We've seen Apple make their iPads behave more like Macs and now bringing iPad apps to the Mac. And I think this is just a giant trend that I'm very excited to see, and I really want to know where it goes next. And that kind of leads us to Windows 10 on ARM, which a lot of you people had questions about. And yes, I absolutely think that this is kind of the next big thing for Microsoft in the personal devices and PC space, and the same for Apple and Google, by the way. I totally think that thin and light laptops that are focused on productivity will be using ARM chips in the next year, 2 years, 3 years. You can see Qualcomm, who made a specific chip, the 850, for this purpose. We've heard rumors that Apple is working on their own chip, maybe Google as well. So I think this will be huge. I also think that Microsoft has kind of a lead in this category for now. And I mean, we've seen this many times before. It's a little rough around the edges. Maybe the competitors will catch up with them, but I'm excited to see where this goes. And I'm so excited I'd actually like to make a video about this. Is this something that you guys are interested in? If yes, let me know in the comments below and I will make a full video about Windows 10 on ARM. And in the same vein, there are a ton of questions from you regarding like kind of what's next for phones. And I really see 2 big trends. One being phones that are all screen on the front, and the other being phones with foldable screens. So, I mean, these have both been kind of like tech nerd dreams ever since we had smartphones, but the amount of leaked devices, patents, kind of prototype devices, early versions of this, like the ZTE Axon, there's just so many of them that I think that within maybe 1 year, we will have some version of both of these devices on the market, which is, I think, pretty exciting. I'm not sure how useful either of these will be, but they will be pretty cool to look at least. Okay, I have 3 questions about gaming, and the first one is kind of my favorite. Did I play Heroes 3 or not? And if this question doesn't make any sense to you at all, then don't worry, it just means that you're probably not from Eastern Europe, because everyone I know from Eastern Europe who's like below 40, I'd say, played Heroes 3 extensively, and everyone outside of it that I know probably has never heard of it. I don't know why it's so regional, but it's one of the best games ever. I played it all the time. So if you are up for some retro gaming, then absolutely do give Heroes 3 a try. PC or console gaming, I don't own a TV. I don't own a console. I just do everything on my PC. I never knew why I would need a console, so I'm a PC kind of guy. Favorite game? I don't have one favorite game, so I'll just list a couple. So obviously Heroes 3, but also StarCraft, World of Warcraft, Medieval, Total War 2, Shadow of Mordor, and The Witcher 3. Those would be my favorites. I'm kind of a strategy and RPG kind of guy. Okay, next question is, what's my daily driver? And it's this phone right here, the Nokia 7 Plus. I've been using it for a good week now. I think it's a fantastic phone. There are a surprising amount of bugs here, so like apps will just crash at random times, which is not very encouraging, but you know, I'm sure Nokia will fix it later on because they do update their phones regularly. But I wish, like this phone made me wish that Nokia would just release fewer phones and just focus more on not just the amount of updates, but also the quality and the stability of them. So yeah, but overall, very good phone review coming soon, so stay tuned. Oh, and while we are at Nokia, there's this question asking if HMD doesn't have a proper flagship phone, which is what usually gets profits, is this sustainable? And here's the thing, I think it is. There's this perception that flagship phones make money, but this is, I think, not completely correct, because it takes so much R&D to make a flagship phone that is like a truly standout device that most companies, as far as I know, actually lose a lot of money on their flagships. It's more of a branding effort to appear premium. They also lose money on most of their budget phones because the margins are just so low. And the phones that they actually make money with are the mid-range phones because they don't require breakthrough amazing technology, but they can charge like a halfway reasonable amount of money for them. So I think phones like this are actually very profitable. I do wish Nokia made a proper flagship. I think the 8 Sirocco was kind of underwhelming. But yeah, I don't think this is a terrible business model for now. Okay, why did I settle in Berlin? I love living in Berlin for a lot of reasons, but I think it's a really good match between like a metropolis that is like ahead of the curve and has a lot of tech and a lot of startups and a lot of culture, but also a very relaxed and livable and affordable city. I'm also a like 98% vegetarian kind of person, if that makes any sense. So I really enjoy the fact that there are tons of good vegetarian options in all restaurants. I'm also a foreigner. I lived kind of abroad for about half of my life, and this is one of the most welcoming and open cities that I've ever lived in. So yeah, I really enjoy it here. Okay, what's my favorite dinosaur? I don't know much about dinosaurs at all, so I'll just say the flying one, and I'll put up a picture of it right here. And what software do I use to make my videos? So I use the Adobe Creative Cloud apps. I use like half of them. I use Premiere as my main timeline thing. I also, for this like talking head kind of shots. I use Audition for audio editing. I use After Effects for the animations. I use Photoshop and Illustrator for all the images and illustrations. Yeah, so all of them. It's really expensive at $60, but I haven't found any other suite of apps that is so complete. Okay, so that's it for this round. Be sure to follow me on Twitter to have your question featured in the next video, which should come out in about a month from now. And here's a little teaser for the next The Story Behind series video. It will be about the Microsoft Store, and it will come out as soon as I'm done with Grandma. So I gotta do some family time now. All right, bye.